Uganda is home to a rapidly growing population. With over 73% of households dependent on wood fuel for cooking, forests are being cleared at an alarming rate. Statistics show that between 2015 and 2020, the country lost an estimated 51,100 hectares of forest, leaving behind dry land, rising temperatures, and vanishing biodiversity. What began in 2010 as a small initiative to balance the environmental impact of building Kyaninga Lodge has now grown into the Kyaninga Forest Foundation, a regional force for climate action, biodiversity protection, and sustainable agriculture.
And it was always very difficult to be up at the lodge and hear the pangas in the forest and watch the forest disappearing. And we knew that we have serval cats here, we have pangolins, lots of very rare animals. And if you see their habitat shrinking every day, it's very hard not to do something about it. You can't be angry with farmers for collecting firewood. They're not doing it to get rich, they're doing it because they need to cook posho and beans. We all need to eat. And if you've got 45 million people in Uganda using fuel wood or firewood every day, you've got to be planting a huge number of trees to compensate for that fire resource.
Under the guidance of Chris Kaija, a tree expert, the foundation planted fast-growing trees, rare hardwoods, and medicinal plants. These species were once common in the region, but are now vanishing due to deforestation and overharvesting.
And so this was the main reason we started doing it, was just to try and make sure that places like Kibale or the Rwenzoris or the forests around the crater lakes are no longer needed by communities, because if the communities have enough trees on their own land, one, it's better for them, they don't have to walk miles to get the trees, the kids can go to school, but two, it also means that these pristine ecosystems will maintain for future generations.
The nursery bed holds over 40,000 seedlings. More than 100,000 indigenous trees have been planted across Kabarole, Kamwenge, Ntoroko and Bundibujo districts. Previously, this area had been cleared for cassava growing and dairy pasture. Today, it is a man-made forest with canopies of native trees buzzing with bird songs. The field relations officer has spent many years educating local farmers on climate-smart agriculture, tree preservation, and the role forests play in carbon capture. He trains communities to recognize invasive species such as the umbrella tree and lantana and how to repurpose them into eco-friendly briquettes.
135 farmers were trained on this. At least they've been using this one. So it is easy to make, and sometimes it burns very well. It produces no smoke. So you find it very good, and we are trying to promote it.
At the Kyaninga Forest Foundation's modest field lab, soil samples are tested before seedlings are handed out. This ensures that trees planted have a genuine chance to grow and mature. Matthew Cooper explains how the foundation also supervises the growth process, carrying out follow-up visits with partner farmers.
But we're really trying to push this so that farmers can start growing native fruit trees. But we also have trees which are specialists for timber, specialists for shade, some are specialists for livestock. Some are good at preventing soil erosions. Some are very medicinal, like the ones we have behind you here. This is called Wabogia. But the main thing is to really get farmers back onto Ugandan trees, get them away from these exotics, get rid of eucalyptus, get rid of pine.
The Mpanga cycad, a critically endangered species, is now being cultivated by hand, a painstaking process overseen by trained workers.
It is believed that they were eaten by dinosaurs long time ago, and nowadays they are eaten by baboons. We are trying to do an experiment from here in our nursery. They are mostly not performing well in other areas. If you remove it from the gorge, it grows here. The seeds mostly fail to germinate. We want to experiment and prove whether these seeds can germinate in our nurseries.
Thanks to the reforestation, vervet and colobus monkeys have returned alongside rare birds. Even insect and lizard populations critical for pollination and ecosystem balance are making a comeback.
With each of these trees, there will be different insects, different birds, different monkeys, different fungi that need that species. And so if you switch and you only plant eucalyptus and pine, it's not just that you lose the indigenous tree, you lose all those associated species that depend on those trees. Also, it's very difficult to do any kind of intercropping with things like eucalyptus or pine. As wonderful as they are for how fast they grow, they do tend to poison their own soil. They make it very acidic. With native species, you can maximize your land more because it means you can also grow crops and trees in the same space.
Kyaninga Forest Foundation has distributed over 10,000 trees to households, built a botanical garden on a nearby tea estate, and contributed to scientific research on endangered trees.
And we can test the soils here very, very quickly and very easily, and then let farmers know what they need to be doing to protect their soils, but also to improve them. And so this is the scientific part of what Kyaninga Forest Foundation does. We try to make most of our work based in science and then bring it out to the community.
In the face of global climate change, Kyaninga Forest Foundation's model is a replicable blueprint for reforestation across the continent. Betty Mudondo,
We are trying to protect the
NTV.
forests by making them obsolete.